Hey everyone, today we're diving into something I think is pretty amazing, the Vibium record player. It's a tool that might just completely change how you deal with browser automation and especially debugging.
I mean, seriously, think about it. You're trying to track down some super annoying bug, right? It only happens like 1 in 100 times, and you can never, ever make it happen when you're actually watching. Don't you just wish you could hit rewind and see exactly what was happening right before everything crashed and burned? Well, wish no more. This is basically it. The Vibium record player is that black box. It grabs a full, super detailed timeline of a browser session, and I'm talking everything. Every click, every network request, snapshots of the DOM, even a visual film strip of the screen. It's your secret weapon for finally catching those impossible-to-replicate bugs.
So how do you actually get started? You're gonna love this part because it is incredibly simple.
It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. You just tell it to start recording, you do your thing in the browser, whether that's running an automated test or just clicking around manually, and then you stop it. That's literally it. All the complicated stuff happens behind the scenes. Now, when you kick off a recording, you have some really powerful options. The defaults are set to be super lightweight, which is great, but you can turn on screenshots to get that visual film strip, or snapshots to capture the entire DOM at different points. You can even record 𝗩𝗶𝗯𝗶𝗂𝗍 to get all the raw protocol commands. It's all about finding that perfect balance between how much detail you need and how big you want your file to be.
Okay, so you've made a recording. What did you actually create? Let's put on our detective hats for a minute and peek inside the file it generates.
Everything you captured gets neatly bundled up into one single zip file. You can think of this as your little evidence package, with all the data from your session just waiting to be analyzed. Now, inside that zip, the absolute heart of the recording is this trace file. It's just a text file, but don't let that fool you. It contains a line-by-line chronological script of every single thing that happened. Next up, you've got the network file. And this is fantastic because it's just a standard HAR file, which means it works with all the dev tools you're already familiar with. It gives you that classic waterfall view, which is perfect for spotting a slow API call or a funky header that's causing trouble. And finally, there's the resources folder. This is where all the big binary files live, like your screenshots. And here's what's so cool about it. The system is smart enough to automatically deduplicate identical files, which keeps the total recording size way, way down. So how does it do that? This is where the design gets really elegant. Instead of using normal file names, every single resource is saved using its sh1 hash as its name. So what does that mean? It means if you take two screenshots that are pixel for pixel identical, they end up with the same hash and are only stored one time. No duplicates, ever. It's brilliant. And this is how it all connects. The trace file, which is all text, needs a way to refer to a specific image, right? Well, it just includes that image's unique SHA-1 hash. It creates a perfect, unbreakable link between the event in the log and the visual proof in the resources folder. Okay, let's circle back to that trace file because understanding how it's structured is really the key to unlocking the full power of these recordings. It literally tells the story of the session.
So this is the most important concept right here. Every single action, a click, typing some text, anything, is bracketed by a before and an after marker. This gives you a crystal clear picture of the world right before the action and the result immediately after. This is an absolute game changer for hunting down race conditions and those flaky tests that seem to fail for no reason. As you get used to looking at the trace file, you'll start to recognize these key event types. You've got the initial metadata, the screencast frames for visuals, the full DOM snapshots, are super important before and after markers, and of course, any raw browser events. They all work together to paint the complete picture. Oh, and here's a little bit of trivia for you. In the metadata of every recording, you'll see the trace format version. Right now, we're on version 8. It's a tiny detail, but it's super important for making sure the player can correctly read your files as the tool gets updated over time. Okay, so we've torn apart the zip file, we've looked at the raw data, but let's be real, you're not going to be reading these text files by hand. So now, for the really fun part, let's bring it all together in the interactive viewer. And honestly, this couldn't be easier. You just go to player.vibium.dev, that's VYBIUM, and you drag your record.zip file right onto the page. That is all you have to do. And the second you do that, this incredible interactive dashboard just comes to life. It takes all that raw data we just talked about and makes it beautiful. You can scrub through the timeline of screenshots. You can click on any action to see the details, inspect the network waterfall, and even explore the full DOM at any point in time. It pulls everything together into one powerful, easy-to-use view. So when you have the power to capture and dissect every single moment of a browser session in this much detail, it really leaves you with just one question. What hidden bugs or performance bottlenecks are you going to uncover in your next session?